I want to look at some of the biggest mistakes you can make in Tower Defense Simulator. From unoptimized placements to thousands of wasted coins, there are things that you should just always try to avoid, such as buying unnecessary items, like Rocketeer, it's not good, or these emotes, or those game passes. Now of course there are a lot of towers which aren't very good, and it makes sense to hold off buying some, but then there are towers which are a lot worse to purchase. Like when you get Gold Crate, if you bought every tower, then you could get any of these towers, like Soldier or maybe Pyromancer. Spending money on these towers allows the possibility to get their gold skin, which is probably not going to be the one you want. Emotes are also a sink of coins which are technically useless, and buying the lower tier level up game passes is usually a bad idea, since if you're going to be playing a lot, you might be able to get them for free, unless you want to get Pursuit, and I would not blame you. Say you're playing a normal game on Sky Islands, and you go to place a minigunner here, unknowingly making a massive strategical error. You can actually fit more of the tower into that spot. Since tower placement boxes only extend horizontally, you can actually place a bunch of towers in the same spot if they are technically above each other, like with these small hills which circumference this floating platform. This allows you to cram a bunch of towers very close together, which is an insanely effective way to save space and can be very helpful in game, allowing more towers to fit under the umbrella of certain buffs. You used to be able to stack in a ton of places, but nowadays there's really not that many maps you can still do this on, and even Sky Islands itself has a planned remake, so better try this quickly if you don't want to miss out. Just like how a ton of people missed out on certain TDS events, myself included. This is one of the most common mistakes in TDS, and almost every player has felt this in some way or the other, from missing out on battle pass skins to entire event towers. I think a big part of this is when you're newer to the game, it can be a bit confusing. I remember wondering why I had to beat the 2020 Easter event on 2 difficulties, leading me to decide the best option was to just not do it, or even being too low level to play in an event, and not wanting to spend the next 24 hours straight grinding Molten Mode. Fortunately, it's just very hard to get every event tower, especially with how difficult some of these events are, which is why you might need a strategy guide. Not everyone has done this, but guides offer specific instructions for how to beat game modes, and I think the single worst feeling in TDS messing up your part in a challenging strategy, like placing the wrong tower, and it's in the wrong spot. Especially when going for challenges like Hidden Wave, it was very embarrassing to make a mistake and have to ask your teammates to restart, where half the time you would get viciously flamed by the level 300 player who's been attempting the strategy for the past 3 hours. That's a bit of an exaggeration. A lot of TDS players are very chill, so if, say, you take a while to load into a game, they might actually wait for you before starting, but they probably won't. Because a massive mistake in TDS is having bad internet. Skill issue, as anyone who experiences it can tell you, it is very annoying to not be able to vote for maps, or load in on time for hardcore, or do quick draw, or sometimes even play the game at all. But I guess the time investment isn't as much of a waste as it was to grind for platinum crates. Basically, during 2019 and 2020, you could play maps to earn medals, which would count up towards earning a platinum crate. To get one of these, you had to fully complete 5 maps, or play 20 games, which is a lot of TDS, especially considering the tracker was extremely buggy and didn't work half the time. I literally joined the TDS Discord because of this, but if you were willing to persevere, you could earn your prize and unbox a platinum skin. Like golden perks, these skins would improve tower stats. However, since they were a lower tier crate, the change wasn't as drastic. Still, a buff is a buff, and in addition to looking clean, the skins were a really fun thing to grind for. Overall, these platinum crates were the perfect mini challenge, except there is one little issue. Along with the crate itself, all these skins were directly removed from players' inventory in late 2020. So if you played the 60 rounds to get all 3, like I did, at the end of the day, all that effort was for absolutely nothing. This was very depressing. And as far as crates go, it's definitely the biggest single waste. But what about the biggest multifaceted waste? Well, for that you have the basic crates. These cost 1,000 coins, award very simple skins, and overall are pretty unremarkable. Except, unlike every other crate, you could always open them, even after collecting every available item, meaning you could theoretically waste an infinite amount of coins, or at least you used to be able to. Because in the winter 2022 update, this actually got patched. I was gonna make a joke video where I opened 100 of them, but now I just have these 47 stuck in my inventory, along with 34 premium crates obtained from the login incentives, which I can't open since I don't have Commando. That is a pretty niche scenario though. There are a lot more common mistakes in TDS, like forgetting to switch loadouts after doing a challenge run, and bringing a full support team into Fallen, or on the hardest game mode, going straight into hardcore as soon as you unlock it at level 50, where your teammates will probably yell at you, and you're gonna lose both the game and a lot of self-confidence. But then, the biggest mistake of all is playing TDS, or maybe it's quitting TDS. But regardless, you should definitely try to avoid all these mistakes, and consider subscribing. It's very quick and it helps me a bunch. I'm still recovering from the effects of the platinum crates. Thanks for watching, see ya!